Archangel Michael says, you are being watched by unseen forces. You must see this to protect what's coming. My radiant soul, something within you has already sensed it. A shift in the air, a silent movement in your atmosphere, a whisper that does not come from this world. Archangel Michael is stepping forward with a message that is not merely guidance, it is a warning wrapped in divine protection. The title you saw is not a coincidence. Archangel Michael says, you are being watched by unseen forces. You must see this to protect what's coming. This is not just a sentence. It is a spiritual alert sent straight into your path. There is a reason this message has reached you right now. According to Archangel Michael, the unseen forces watching you are not here to destroy you, but they are here to test the strength of what you carry inside your spirit. There is something coming toward your life. Something promised, something sacred, and before it arrives, shadows always try to observe the chosen one. Michael says these forces are standing around your home, your routine, your thoughts, trying to measure one thing. How ready are you for what heaven is about to release? From the moment you clicked on this message, Archangel Michael began moving his sword of blue fire around you. I can feel him clearing the atmosphere around your shoulders, around your chest, around your front door, because some of these unseen watchers are not physical. They are spiritual energies formed from people's envy, people's hidden opinions, people's silent judgments. They are thoughts sent toward you without words. And Michael wants to expose this before it tries to interfere with the blessing approaching your life. Listen carefully. Archangel Michael says your spirit has been glowing brighter these past few days. You may not see it, but heaven sees it clearly. And whenever a soul begins to rise, spiritual eyes begin to watch. This is why your dreams have felt unusual lately. This is why your emotions have been shifting without reason. This is why you have been feeling like something is behind you, even when you know you're alone. Michael says this feeling is not paranoia. It is discernment awakening. He is showing me an image of you walking through your day, unaware of the spiritual traffic around you. Some forces observe you because they are confused by your resilience. Others watch because they fear the new level you are stepping into. And a few watch because they want to understand how you keep rising after every storm. Archangel Michael says, your light has become a signal in the spiritual realm. This is why protection must increase now. The blessing that is coming toward you, the breakthrough, the restoration, the shift, is so powerful that it has changed the atmosphere around your life before it has even arrived. Your future has already been announced in the realm of spirit, and unseen forces have already received the notification. But here is the truth Archangel Michael needs you to hear. They cannot stop what is coming, but they can try to distract you before it reaches you. That is why Michael is giving you this message. That is why he says you must understand this before you move forward. Because the greatest danger is not the unseen forces watching you, it is you forgetting that heaven is watching them. Michael stands taller than every shadow that tries to observe you. His shield is placed right in front of your path. His wings are forming a circle of fire around your purpose. And he is telling you now, do not fear what watches you. Step into what is assigned to you. Your spirit is being elevated. Your intuition is sharpening. Your awareness is rising. And if you stay with this message, you will understand exactly how to guard what is coming, how to recognize the signs, and how to walk into the blessing without interference. Hold your breath for a moment, because what I'm about to reveal next will shift your perspective completely. You are seconds away from understanding why these forces gathered around your life and what Archangel Michael is preparing to expose. Before you move forward, stay right here. The next revelation will answer questions you didn't even know you were asking. Type "I walk in the light" in the comments if you feel Archangel Michael speaking to you. Blessing code 1444 has now been activated. My awakened one, there is something shifting around you even in this very moment, and Archangel Michael is urging you to pay attention. You are stepping into a realm of clarity where what was hidden begins to reveal its true shape. The unseen forces watching you are not only observing your actions, they are observing your energy, your progress, your alignment, and the silent transformation taking place within your heart. Michael says you have been changing quietly, and these spiritual watchers have taken notice long before you realized it yourself. He shows me a vision of you standing in a dim room, yet your body is glowing with a soft, golden light. This is not literal light. It is spiritual illumination. It is the light of someone who has walked through battles no one knows about, yet still kept their heart intact. It is the light of a person who has survived disappointment, betrayal, emotional storms, and silent spiritual attacks, and still wakes up with the intention to move forward. Unseen forces recognize this glow because it is rare. Many people break under pressure, but you evolved under pressure. This made the spiritual realm react to you. Michael says there are 3 types of watchers around you right now. The first kind watches you because they are drawn to the purity of your spirit. These watchers are harmless. They're simply curious. They sense your elevation, but cannot understand how you arrived at this stage. The second kind watches with quiet confusion. These watchers expected your downfall. They expected your silence. They expected your disappearance. But instead, you rose higher. You kept breathing. You kept believing. And your persistence disrupted their expectations. The third kind, however, is the one Archangel Michael wants you to be aware of. These watchers appear when a powerful blessing is approaching your life. They sit in the shadows, trying to predict your next move, studying your emotions, attempting to discover whether you are prepared or vulnerable. Their goal is not to harm you directly. Their goal is to interfere with your faith, your focus, your courage, and your clarity. Michael says, the real attack begins when heaven announces a new season. And heaven has already announced yours. This is why your spirit has been restless. This is why your thoughts have been shifting from old patterns into new realizations. This is why you have been feeling a pull to distance yourself from certain connections, conversations, and environments. What is coming toward you requires a higher level of emotional purity, spiritual strength, and inner stability. Blessings do not land in distracted hearts. They land in hearts prepared, guarded, and positioned. Archangel Michael is not warning you to create fear. He is warning you to create clarity. Clarity is your shield right now. You may have noticed small things lately, sudden changes in your mood, unexpected waves of concern, feeling watched even in silence, or feeling as if something is checking in on your energy. Michael says these are not random sensations. These are indicators of spiritual traffic around your life. When a blessing begins to move toward you, everything reacts. The light reacts. The shadows react. The atmosphere reacts. Your dreams react. Your intuition reacts. Your emotions react. The energy around your name reacts. There is a rearrangement taking place in the unseen, and your soul is picking up the signals before your mind understands them. Michael wants you to know that this is not a moment to doubt yourself. This is a moment to strengthen yourself. Think of this as the tightening of a bow before an arrow is released. You are the arrow. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it is preparation. The watchers around you do not have authority over your destiny. They only have the ability to observe. And Michael ensures that observation cannot become interference unless you allow fear to open the door. Fear is the language of shadow. Faith is the armor of heaven. He shows me a vision of a blue circle forming around your home. This is his shield, activated the moment you engage with this message. There is a reason Archangel Michael's presence feels intense, protective, and powerful right now. You are entering a destiny moment. You are moving into a chapter that has been delayed, resisted, and spiritually contested for a long time. But what is arriving now cannot be stopped. Michael says, your blessing is already in motion. Only your awareness needs to catch up. Your awareness is your greatest weapon in this moment. When you understand what is happening around you, fear loses its grip. Confusion loses its influence. Anxiety loses its voice. You step into your role as a chosen vessel rather than a vulnerable target. And that is exactly what Archangel Michael wants for you. You are not meant to walk blindly into your next chapter. You are meant to walk boldly, with knowledge and spiritual authority. There is more to reveal, and the next revelation is even deeper. You are about to understand what these unseen forces are trying to detect in you, and why your spirit has been selected for such a powerful shift. Before you move on, take a breath. Allow your spirit to settle. The breakthrough is closer than you think. Type "I claim my protection" in the comments if this message speaks to your inner knowing. Blessing code 5511 is now activated. Stay with this, the next unfolding will make everything clearer. My chosen heart, there is something Archangel Michael is pushing urgently into your spirit right now, and it begins with this truth. The unseen forces watching you have underestimated what heaven has placed inside you. They have been circling around your atmosphere, trying to read your fears, trying to sense your weaknesses, trying to identify any cracks in your emotional armor. But what they do not understand is that every crack in your spirit has already been filled with divine light. Every wound you carried has already been sealed with heavenly strength. Every disappointment you survived has become a doorway for spiritual upgrades. Michael says you are not being observed because you are weak. You are being observed because you are rising. He shows me a vision of you walking in slow motion, with a trail of blue flame following behind you. This flame does not burn you. It illuminates everything around you. It reveals the motives behind people's smiles. It reveals the truth hiding behind conversations. It reveals the energy behind every person connected to you. This is why your intuition has been louder lately. This is why you have been hesitating before making certain choices. This is why you have been feeling a gentle push away from situations you once tolerated. Your spirit is becoming sharper. Your instincts are becoming wiser. You are not imagining this transformation. Michael has been preparing you for it. There is something very important happening in your life right now. You are entering a season of exposure. Not exposure of your flaws, but exposure of hidden intentions around you. The unseen forces watching you are not only spiritual, some are emotional, human, and disguised as harmless. Michael says you have people in your surroundings who admire your strength in public, but question your destiny in private. You have individuals who smile at your growth, yet fear your evolution. The spiritual watchers behind them are trying to see if you still doubt your worth, because if you doubt yourself, your blessing becomes vulnerable. But if you stand firm, your blessing becomes unstoppable. Michael is telling you that the forces watching you are silently waiting for one thing: your reaction. They want to see if you will shrink back or rise higher. They want to see if you will trust fear or trust divine timing. They want to see if you will allow confusion to distract you or if you will keep walking toward your purpose. But you must hear this clearly. Heaven is watching your watchers. Nothing they observe is hidden from Archangel Michael. His sword is drawn. His stance is firm. His protection is already surrounding you from every angle. In the vision, I see Michael placing a glowing seal over your heart. This seal is not meant to block your emotions. It is meant to guard them. Because what is coming for you requires emotional stability. Blessings do not thrive in chaos. They thrive in clarity, peace, and strengthened identity. You may have felt waves of sudden heaviness recently. You may have questioned decisions you made long ago. You may have felt a strange emotional fatigue without reason. Michael says this was not your spirit weakening. This was your spirit detoxing. Your energy has been shedding dead weight. Every emotional release was actually spiritual preparation. There is a message Michael wants to deliver directly to your soul. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer chase what is not aligned. You will attract what is assigned. This is why protection is increasing around you. This is why the unseen forces have gathered. This is why the spiritual realm is active around your name. You are moving toward something you prayed for, something your heart cried for, something your soul was shaped for. And before something sacred arrives, the shadows always attempt to observe it. But Michael wants to reveal something deeper now. The Watchers are not the threat. The real test is your awareness. When you are aware of who you are becoming, their observation loses all power. When you know your future is protected, their silence cannot unsettle you. When your purpose becomes louder than your fear, their presence becomes irrelevant. Michael says you are crossing into a moment where doubt will not be able to follow you. Something is about to shift so dramatically in your favor that even the forces watching you will have no choice but to retreat. You must stay with this message, because what comes next will explain what the Watchers are waiting for and why you must guard your energy more strongly now. There is a revelation unfolding that will help you protect what's coming with power, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. Something in your life is on the edge of manifestation, and the next words Michael has for you will show you how to secure it completely. Before we continue, engage with this moment. Like this video. Share it with someone you care for. Comment your confirmation, hype this message, and subscribe so these divine warnings find you on time. Your interaction pushes this message into the hands of those who urgently need Archangel Michael's protection. Type "I stand with the light" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 3030 is now active. Just as Archangel Michael shields you from the unseen forces watching your destiny, this moment is an invitation to join hands in a divine mission. When you support this channel through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not just giving. You are sowing a seed into a global movement of spiritual awakening. Every act of generosity becomes a light that breaks through someone else's darkness. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you," and today that promise is alive and speaking directly into your life. I feel led to say this. Step forward if your spirit is stirring, because this is a moment of alignment, not obligation. Your support becomes oil, fueling the message that lifts broken souls back to their purpose. As you give, may open heavens surround your home, and may divine favor multiply in ways only God can orchestrate. Move boldly, release your seed, and let heaven respond with fire. My rising spirit, there is a quiet trembling in the atmosphere around you, and Archangel Michael is leaning closer than ever, urging you to understand the depth of what is unfolding. You are not simply being watched. You are being evaluated, measured, and spiritually assessed by forces that have sensed a monumental shift approaching your life. These forces are not here to overpower you. They are here because something that belongs to you is moving with speed, and whenever a divine transition approaches, the unseen realm becomes intensely active. Michael says you are in a spiritual spotlight, not because you are in danger, but because you are stepping into destiny territory. He is showing me a vision of an ancient gate opening slowly, like stone sliding against stone. Behind that gate is a radiant light that carries your next season, your next breakthrough, your next elevation. The watchers sense that gate opening even before you feel it yourself. They hover because they are trying to predict your readiness. They study your reactions, your emotions, your moments of silence. They observe the way you're beginning to detach from things that once held you captive. They notice how your heart has started to reject negativity, how your spirit has grown stronger against disappointment, how your inner voice has begun to rise above fear. They are not watching your weakness. They are watching your evolution. Michael says, what you call small changes, the spiritual realm calls transformation. You may think you have simply grown tired of certain conversations, but in the unseen, this is recognized as spiritual alignment. You may think you are just craving more peace, but in the unseen, this is recognized as divine acceleration. You may think you are losing interest in certain people or habits, but in the unseen, this is recognized as preparation for elevation. The watchers gather only when a chosen one begins stepping into the true identity heaven has been molding in silence. There is something important Michael wants you to understand. Your silence has become your shield. You have not announced every step you're taking. You have not shared every emotion you feel. You have not revealed every dream that visits you in the night. This has frustrated the watchers. They cannot trace your inner world. They can only observe the outer shifts. And this confusion is working in your favor. Michael has intentionally placed a divine veil over your heart, preventing those who do not carry your spirit's frequency from accessing your path. He shows me another vision now. You are walking down a long corridor, and behind you are dozens of eyes, some glowing softly, others dim and restless. The closer you move to the end of the corridor, the more these eyes narrow, not in anger but in curiosity. They sense that you are not the same person you were even a month ago. They sense that something in you has awakened that they cannot interpret. You are becoming someone they cannot predict. You are stepping into a version of yourself that heaven has hidden until the right moment. That moment is now arriving. Your heart has likely felt a shift before your mind acknowledged it. The sudden need to protect your peace. The instinct to withdraw from draining situations. The urge to reorganize your environment, your relationships, even your priorities. These are not random impulses. These are Michael-led adjustments in your spiritual atmosphere. When a blessing begins its journey toward your life, heaven rearranges everything around you to make room for the new. Even the forces watching you can sense this rearrangement, and that is why their attention has increased. Michael wants you to know that these watchers are not powerful enough to stop anything destined for you. They cannot interfere with your blessing. They cannot rewrite your path. They cannot intercept divine timing. They can only observe. But where they hope to see hesitation, heaven will reveal determination. Where they hope to find fear, heaven will shine courage. Where they hope to detect confusion, heaven will anchor clarity. You are being fortified from the inside out, and that is why the watchers are restless. They can sense your strengthening, even if you doubt it in moments of weakness. Michael whispers now, you are not walking into your next chapter. Your next chapter is rising to meet you. There is a divine force pulling you forward, guiding your steps, aligning your energy, sharpening your intuition. You have moments when you feel drained, moments when you feel emotional heaviness, moments when your mind races with quiet concerns. These moments are part of the spiritual pressure that occurs before release. You are being spiritually stretched so you can hold what is coming. If you felt comfortable right now, it would mean nothing is shifting. but the tension you feel is proof that transition is active. There is something else Michael is about to reveal to you. Something crucial about why your blessing needed this level of spiritual surveillance, and why heaven allowed these watchers to observe you for a season. It is not what you think. And when you hear it, something in your soul will unlock. Stay in this moment. You are standing at the edge of divine clarity. Type "I am under divine guard" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 8181 is now released. Hold steady. What comes next will open your eyes even more. My vigilant soul, there is a deeper truth unfolding around you, and Archangel Michael is urging you to breathe calmly as this revelation settles into your spirit. What you are experiencing is not ordinary spiritual activity. It is a shift so significant, a transition so spiritually charged, that the unseen realm has become stirred into motion. Michael says the forces watching you are not observing out of dominance, but out of uncertainty. They sense something rising within you that even they cannot predict. They sense a divine move forming around your name, one that is protected by heavenly authority. And the moment such an energy awakens in a chosen one, every dimension becomes alert. Michael shows me a symbolic image, a candle flame burning in total darkness, yet the flame does not shrink or flicker. Instead, it grows brighter with every passing moment. You are that flame. Your spirit has survived storms that once threatened to extinguish your hope, and yet here you stand, still burning, still rising, still moving towards something greater than anything your past could imagine. The reason the unseen forces watch you is because they expected your flame to dim long ago, but instead it has grown stronger. You are living proof that heaven's protection is more powerful than any shadow that tries to linger around your path. There is a pattern Michael wants you to notice. Over the last few weeks, your emotions have not been random. Your thoughts have not been scattered without purpose. Your physical energy has not shifted for no reason. Every mood change, every moment of sudden heaviness, every wave of unexpected peace, these have been indicators of spiritual movement. Your spirit is detecting changes before your physical mind fully understands them. This is the nature of elevation. Your soul senses the shift before your circumstances begin to reflect it. You may have noticed yourself becoming quieter. Not because you are sad, but because your spirit is listening. You may have noticed you are more selective with your conversations. Not because you are distant, but because you are discerning. You may have noticed you are releasing attachments that once held you tightly. Not because you are cold, but because your soul is making room for something bigger. Michael says, elevation requires detachment. You cannot rise while carrying what was meant for a past version of you. This is why the watchers have become more alert. They see what many humans cannot see. Your aura changing, your energy strengthening, your spiritual core expanding. To unseen forces, humans appear differently depending on their spiritual state. Those who are spiritually asleep appear dim, muted, and predictable. But those who are awakening appear bright, shifting, and hard to interpret. This is how you appear now. You are becoming unpredictable in the spiritual realm, and this confuses the forces that once thought they understood you. Michael reveals another vision. I see you standing on a cliff overlooking a vast spiritual landscape. Behind you are shadows watching, but ahead of you is a glowing horizon. The horizon is wide, open, and filled with a golden radiance that symbolizes opportunity, protection, and destiny. The watchers behind you are not strong enough to pull you back, but they are hoping you will turn around and delay yourself. Their power lies not in attacking you, but in distracting you. Their weapon is not force, but influence. But Michael is standing between you, and them with his sword raised, ensuring that their influence cannot cross the boundary heaven has drawn around your life. There is something life-changing that Michael wants you to hear clearly. The Watchers are not just observing your present, they are reacting to your future. Heaven has already written a breakthrough into your timeline, and its arrival is so close that the entire atmosphere around you is shifted. You may not see the full blessing yet, but the spiritual world does. This is why they watch. This is why they hover. This is why they analyze every move you make. They sense the blessing before you experience it. Michael says, your name has been spoken in the halls of heaven. Something destined for you has been approved. A season that was once delayed has been unlocked. A door that was once closed is now opening with divine force. And before such a moment manifests physically, the unseen realm is always stirred into activity. Heaven prepares you, shadows watch you, and your spirit begins to awaken to its new authority. This is why Michael needs you to stay alert. You are walking through a spiritually sensitive chapter. Your intuition is becoming a weapon. Your silence is becoming a shield. Your discernment is becoming a guide. You cannot afford to ignore your inner voice right now. Every nudge you feel is deliberate. Every sign you notice is intentional. Every moment of stillness is purposeful. You are being aligned with precision. The Watcher forces are not here to harm you. They are here as evidence of your breakthrough approaching. If there was nothing coming, nothing would be watching. If there was nothing shifting, nothing would be observing. If there was no blessing moving toward you, your spiritual landscape would be quiet. But it is not quiet. It is active. It is charged. It is vibrating with divine anticipation. And now, Michael is preparing to reveal exactly what these Watchers are looking for, what they are hoping to find, what they fear most about your rising spirit. When you hear this, every confusing emotion you've recently felt will suddenly make sense. Type "I am covered in light" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Blessing code 4747 has now been released. Steady your heart. The next reveal will open a deeper layer of understanding. My steadfast soul, there is a deep stirring in your atmosphere, and Archangel Michael is urging you to sit with this message with full attention. You have reached a point in your journey where the unseen forces watching you are not simply observing, they are reacting. They are shifting their position, redirecting their focus, trying to analyze a new strength rising from within you. Michael says this rise is not accidental. It is the direct result of spiritual growth that has been unfolding quietly within your spirit, even in moments when you felt tired, overwhelmed, or unsure of yourself. Your soul has been expanding even when your emotions felt fragile. Your destiny has been aligning even when your mind felt scattered. This is why the Watchers have increased their focus. They sense transformation long before the physical world begins to show it. Michael shows me a vision of a glowing compass placed in your hands. This compass does not point north, south, east, or west. It points toward purpose. Your purpose. Every decision you have made recently, even the ones that felt uncertain, has been pulling you closer to something sacred and divinely assigned. The Watchers sense this alignment and are studying your reactions, trying to determine whether you will step boldly into your destiny or retreat out of fear. But there is a truth Michael wants to declare over you now. You are not retreating. You are awakening. You may have felt moments of isolation recently. Moments where your soul felt like withdrawing from noise, from drama, from unnecessary conversations, from people who drain your energy without giving anything in return. You may have wondered why you suddenly feel the need to protect your peace more fiercely than before. Michael says this withdrawal is not loneliness. It is refinement. Heaven is repositioning you so that the blessing coming toward you will find you grounded, focused, and spiritually aware. The Watchers mistake your silence for vulnerability, but it is actually your greatest form of power right now. There is something else Michael is revealing. These unseen forces are not only watching your actions, they are watching your endurance. They want to see if you can maintain your faith under pressure. They want to see if you will remain grounded even when your environment feels unpredictable. They want to see if you will continue walking forward even when you cannot see the full picture. They study your resilience because your resilience threatens them. Every time you choose faith over fear, the Watchers shrink back. Every time you rise up after a setback, they lose influence. Every time you refuse to let negativity shape your decisions, your spiritual light intensifies. Michael says, you have no idea how powerful your persistence has become in the unseen realm. When you push forward, even in small ways, waking up with hope, praying when tired, speaking life over yourself, continuing on a path that once felt impossible, these actions create shockwaves in the spiritual dimension. The Watchers observe these shockwaves. They react to the strength you do not always recognize in yourself. You think you are simply surviving. Heaven sees you advancing. There is a sacred reason Michael is exposing these Watchers to you. They are searching for something specific. They are looking for signs of surrender. They are looking for cracks in your identity. They are looking for moments where doubt might overshadow your trust. But Michael says clearly, they will not find what they are hoping for. Your spirit has matured. Your awareness has expanded. You are no longer the version of yourself that was easily shaken, easily distracted, or easily discouraged. You have been tested enough times to recognize divine patterns. You have been hurt enough times to value your peace. You have been delayed enough times to honor God's timing. Heaven has been rebuilding you piece by piece, strengthening foundations you once thought were beyond repair. The Watchers expected to find weakness, but your spirit now carries the quiet strength of someone who has survived storms and learned from them. You have grown in silence. You have healed in private. You have walked through fire and come out refined, not burned. And this is why the Watchers are confused. You are not responding in predictable ways. You are not repeating old cycles. You are not returning to old emotional patterns. You are becoming spiritually unpredictable, and that is one of the strongest signs of elevation. Michael shows me a vision of you standing in a valley surrounded by mountains. The Watchers, like shadows, are positioned along the ridges above you. They look down, observing your movement, trying to anticipate your next step. But suddenly, a bright light descends from above and surrounds you, forming a protective dome. This dome is not made of glass or metal. It is made of divine authority. It is impenetrable. The Watchers can see you, but they cannot touch you. They can observe you, but they cannot influence you. They can analyze you, but they cannot alter your path. This dome is your current spiritual state. You are visible in the unseen realm, but you are untouchable. Your destiny is visible, but it is unreachable for any force that is not aligned with heaven. The Watchers are witnessing something they cannot stop: your ascent. Michael says, you are being shaped into someone who cannot be moved by shadows. And as this shaping continues, the Watchers will soon realize that their time observing you is limited. A moment is coming when their influence will evaporate completely. Stay attentive. What comes next will reveal what these forces fear most about your rising identity. Type "I walk under divine shield" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 9292 is now active. Remain with this message. The next revelation will take you into a deeper dimension of clarity. My awakened guardian of light. There is a powerful surge moving through your atmosphere as you read this, and Archangel Michael is stepping forward with an intensity that feels different from the previous moments. He is not merely guiding you now, he is instructing you. He is preparing you. He is positioning you for revelation that requires a steady heart and an alert spirit. For the watchers surrounding your life are no longer only observing your growth, they are responding to the shift they see forming around you. Michael says these unseen forces have sensed the vibration of transformation rising from your inner being, and it has unsettled them in ways you cannot yet see. He shows me a vision. Your spirit stands tall, radiating a deep blue flame that expands outward, growing larger with every breath you take. The watchers, once confident in their ability to interpret your movements, now step backward. Their posture shifts from curiosity to hesitation. They do not understand this version of you. They cannot predict your next move. They cannot calculate your next emotional step. You are no longer operating from the wounds of your past. You are moving from the wisdom of your becoming. And this has caused a ripple in the unseen realm that they did not expect. Michael says the forces watching you are beginning to fear what you are becoming, because they see something you often overlook. Your resilience is no longer a survival instinct. It has become a spiritual weapon. Your hope is no longer fragile. It is anchored. Your faith is no longer scared. It is fortified. Your heart is no longer open to anything and everything. It is selective, discerning, and spiritually guarded. What these watchers cannot comprehend is how many times you have risen from emotional rubble, rebuilt your identity piece by piece, and emerged more powerful than before. There is a subtle, but profound change happening within you. The watchers see it even before your physical world begins to display it. They see your energy stabilizing. They see your confidence returning. They see your intuition becoming sharper, more accurate, more aligned with divine timing. They see you breaking old cycles that once kept you emotionally bound. They see you releasing attachments that once drained your spirit daily. They see you stepping into a version of yourself that heaven has been preparing for years. Michael whispers, what is rising in you now is not temporary. It is foundational. This means that the next phase of your life will not crumble the way previous seasons did. You are being built on reinforced spiritual ground. Your elevation is protected. Your journey is covered. Your next chapter is sealed with heaven's authority. The watchers sense this divine reinforcement, and it causes them to retreat, not because you threaten them, but because your transformation does. Michael also reveals another reality. You are being watched to see if you will fall back into patterns that no longer match your energy. They are waiting to see if old triggers will pull you down. They are waiting to see if familiar fears will grip you again. They are waiting to see if familiar voices will influence you. But here is the truth, Michael declares over your life. Your spirit has outgrown the traps that once captured you. You are not the person you were. Your spirit has evolved, matured, and expanded in ways that make old traps ineffective. This is why you have felt disconnected from certain people recently. It is why old conversations feel empty. It is why old habits no longer satisfy you. You have been spiritually upgraded, and your new frequency cannot align with anything from your old cycle. The watchers sense this separation taking place, and they become restless, because they can no longer weaken you through old vulnerabilities. Michael shows me a vision of a massive gate opening above your life. This gate symbolizes opportunity, alignment, clarity, restoration, and destiny convergence. What is coming through this gate carries weight. It carries purpose. It carries divine timing. And the Watchers sense that once this blessing enters your life, their influence will become irrelevant. This is why their activity increased. They know your blessing is near. They know heaven has already stamped approval on something the physical world has not yet revealed. They know your timeline is shifting. Michael says, the Watchers are not watching you because you are weak. They are watching you because your breakthrough is active. This alone should change the way you interpret your emotions. The tension you feel is not a sign of instability. It is a sign of transition. The uneasiness is not an indication of danger. It is an indicator of preparation. When heaven is about to release something big, your spirit becomes heavier with spiritual anticipation. Your emotions stretch. Your sensitivity increases. Your intuition heightens. You begin to feel things before they unfold. The Watchers are hoping to catch a glimpse of whether you understand the magnitude of what is coming. But Michael says you are beginning to understand, because your spirit feels the pull. Even now, you feel a shift inside your chest, a quiet knowing settling into your being. Something is coming. Something long delayed. Something deeply prayed for. Something that will change the rhythm of your life. Stay with this unfolding, because the next revelation will expose exactly what the Watchers fear most about your rising identity, and why their influence over your atmosphere is about to be dissolved completely. Type "I rise in divine strength" in the comments if this message touches your spirit. Blessing code 6060 is now active. Hold your ground. The next unveiling will take you deeper. My vigilant child of destiny, there is a trembling in the unseen realm around you, a vibration that echoes through every spiritual layer connected to your life. Archangel Michael stands firmly beside you now, drawing his sword not in aggression, but in declaration. He is preparing to reveal something that the Watchers have tried desperately to conceal. These unseen forces have been observing not only your actions, but your ascension, your resilience, your renewed clarity, and the divine recalibration taking place within you. They believed you would remain unaware of their attention, but Michael has stepped forward to expose their intentions with absolute accuracy. What is happening around you is not ordinary. It is the sign of a chosen one stepping into a divine shift that cannot be undone. Michael is showing me a vivid scene. You are standing at the center of a massive spiritual field. Above you, the heavens are opening in rays of golden light. Around you, the Watchers stand in a loose circle. They whisper among themselves, not in confidence, but in confusion. They do not understand how you have reached this point. They do not understand how your spirit has strengthened itself after every storm you walked through. They did not expect your heart to heal from the betrayals that were meant to break you. They did not expect your mind to rise from the exhaustion that once weighed it down. They did not expect your faith to ignite again after seasons that drained you. They are watching because you are becoming unstoppable. Michael says, the Watchers fear what you are becoming, not what you have been. This is a crucial truth. The forces around you are not concerned with your past mistakes, your past heartbreaks, or your past moments of uncertainty. What unsettles them is who you are right now, aware, awake, rising, expanding beyond limits that once held you hostage. They sense the activation of your divine identity, and this activation has made your presence louder in the spiritual dimension. You may not realize it yet, but every internal shift you've experienced recently, every moment of sudden clarity, every instinct telling you to pull away from certain people, every sudden elevation of self-respect, every burst of confidence, has been a sign that the blessing prepared for you has entered your timeline. Not will enter. Not someday. It has already entered. And as it moves closer to manifestation, the Watchers grow more frantic. They fear the moment you fully realize how powerful you have become. Michael reveals something even deeper. The unseen forces are not just observing your behavior, they are analyzing the light surrounding your calling. They know something you are only beginning to understand. Your next season carries a purpose that will impact more than just your own life. It will affect the lives connected to you, the spaces you enter, the decisions you make, and the spiritual environment around your presence. Watchers always multiply when the assignment of a chosen one expands. Michael says, they are watching because heaven has expanded your territory. Your influence is growing in ways that cannot be seen yet, but can be felt spiritually. Your words hold more weight. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your prayer has gained force. Your awareness has sharpened. Your emotional boundaries have become firm. Everything that once weakened you no longer has access to the center of your spirit. This is why some people around you have felt strangely distant or unsettled. They may not understand what is changing inside you, but the unseen realm does. Your frequency has increased. You are no longer aligned with low vibrations, draining environments, or shallow connections. You stand above what once held you down. And because of this elevation, the watchers tremble. Michael shows me your spirit rising like smoke that transforms into a pillar of blue fire. The watchers take several steps backward, shielding their dim energies from the intensity radiating from you. Your light is now too strong for them to stand close. What was once passive observation has now become intimidation. They cannot approach. They cannot influence. They cannot interrupt. They can only watch from a distance as heaven strengthens your next steps. There is something essential Michael wants you to understand. As your blessing approaches, you must protect your inner peace more fiercely than before. Your peace is the landing place for your breakthrough. When peace is disturbed, blessings delay. When peace is honored, blessings accelerate. This is why you have felt an instinct to detach, to go quiet, to guard your personal space. That instinct is divinely given. Michael says, you are stepping into a chapter where spiritual noise cannot follow you. The watchers hope to distract you with confusion, but your clarity is awakening. They hope to trigger old insecurities, but your confidence is rising. They hope to delay you with emotional exhaustion, but your strength is replenishing. They hope to pull you backwards with memories, but your spirit is facing forward. What comes next in this message will expose the exact moment when these watchers will lose their influence over your atmosphere entirely. And when that moment arrives, you will move into a period of divine momentum unlike anything you have experienced before. Before we move forward, interact with this message. Like this content. Speak in the comments, share it with someone you love, lift the energy of this message, and subscribe so you never miss what heaven is trying to send you in moments like this. Type "I walk in heaven's clarity" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 8844 is now released over your life. As Archangel Michael exposes the watchers surrounding your destiny, this is your moment to become part of a movement that pushes back the darkness for countless souls. When you support this channel through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a creator. You are sowing into a prophetic assignment that reaches people on the edge of spiritual warfare. Scripture says that when you give, heaven opens itself like a river, pouring back more than you released. And today that promise is speaking directly to your spirit. I feel led to say this. Your seed becomes a torch, lighting the path for someone who has lost their way. Let your act of faith become a declaration that darkness will not silence the message God is sending through this channel. As you give, may divine protection rise around your home, and may supernatural provision chase after your steps. Step boldly, Move with the authority of your spirit and release your support as an act of obedience, not hesitation. My advancing soul, there is a weight in the spiritual atmosphere around you right now, and Archangel Michael is urging you to stay present as this message unfolds. You have reached a critical point in your journey, a threshold where the watchers surrounding your life are beginning to realize something that even you have not fully seen yet. They are noticing the rise of a new authority within you. They are sensing the emergence of a spiritual maturity that was not there before. They are witnessing the strengthening of a destiny that has awakened after years of silence. Michael says that the watchers have shifted from simple observation to something far more revealing. They are attempting to understand the source of your renewal. He shows me a vision of your spirit standing like a mountain surrounded by mist. The watchers hover around you like flickering shadows, expecting to see signs of weariness. But instead, they see a glow they did not anticipate. Your strength is no longer tied to your circumstances. Your clarity is no longer dependent on external noise. Your resilience is no longer triggered by survival alone. You are becoming grounded, rooted, anchored in something divine. This anchoring is what confuses the watchers. They were prepared to see you collapse under pressure, but instead, they watch you grow in the very places where you were supposed to crumble. Michael whispers, you have become a threat because you have become aware. Awareness is dangerous in the spiritual realm. Awareness breaks cycles. Awareness extinguishes manipulation. Awareness destroys the influence of shadow. Awareness is what tells your spirit, this is not meant to follow you into your next chapter. And once you become aware, the watchers lose the ability to shape the environment around you. They remain only as spectators, unable to interact, unable to pull you back, unable to influence your inner world. This is the moment you are entering. There is something very important happening in your heart right now. You are experiencing what Michael calls the separation of seasons. A separation between who you were and who you are becoming. A separation between relationships that fed your past pain and connections that will support your future purpose. A separation between habits that drained your energy and disciplines that will elevate your spirit. This separation is not emotional detachment. It is divine strategy. Heaven is pulling you away from the noise so that your spirit can clearly recognize the voice of destiny. Michael is revealing another vision. I see you walking on a narrow pathway carved into a dark forest. The watchers stand hidden among the trees, observing your journey, waiting for you to lose your way. But as you walk, a soft blue light emerges from within you, illuminating the path ahead. The watchers lean closer, baffled. They expected you to wonder, but instead, every step you take becomes more guided, more intentional, more aligned. The forest symbolizes confusion, but you are no longer walking in confusion. You are walking with supernatural direction. This internal direction has been growing quietly. Every time you said, I don't know why, but something is telling me to wait, that was direction. Every time you felt an urge to rest when others pressured you to move, that was direction. Every time you chose to release someone, even when you had no explanation for it, that was direction. Michael says that heaven has been whispering to your intuition, and your spirit has begun to respond without hesitation. This is why the watchers fear your elevation. They cannot predict someone who listens to divine instruction. You have also stepped into a phase of spiritual protection that is stronger than anything you have experienced before. Michael has positioned his shield in front of you, not because you are weak, but because what lies ahead requires focus. Your destiny is too close now. The blessing is too near. The watchers sense this nearness, and they want to see if you will become distracted. But Michael is ensuring that nothing external can penetrate the shield that now surrounds you. There is a moment coming, very soon, when the Watchers will begin to withdraw completely. They will have no choice. They will realize that your elevation is sealed. They will recognize that heaven has established a door in front of you that no shadow can approach. This moment is approaching faster than you think. It will happen when your spirit finally understands that the struggle you endured was not meant to break you, but to equip you. Everything you survived taught you something essential, that your power does not come from your circumstances, but from the strength heaven placed in your soul. Michael shows me a final image for this part. I see you standing on a high cliff overlooking a vast, glowing horizon. Behind you, the Watchers linger, dim and fading. They are losing visibility. They are losing relevance. They are losing influence. Ahead of you is light, pure, expansive, breathtaking. This is your next chapter waiting to unfold. And the moment you step toward it, the Watchers will dissolve into nothingness, unable to follow, unable to interfere, unable to hinder a destiny that heaven has already stamped with approval. You must stay present with this journey, because the next revelation will explain what triggers the final collapse of Watcher influence and how you will know when it happens. Type "I am rising with purpose" in the comments if this message speaks to your soul. Blessing code 7171 is now released. Remain close to this unfolding. Your spirit is about to see what your eyes have not yet witnessed. My luminous soul, there is a tremor moving through your spiritual atmosphere, and Archangel Michael is drawing closer, urging you to listen with every part of your being. You have crossed into a moment where the Watchers surrounding your life are beginning to fade, not because they choose to, but because they no longer have the authority to remain. Something in you has shifted so drastically, so profoundly, that the Watchers cannot sustain the same level of observation they once held. Michael says their grip on your timeline has weakened, not because the Watchers have changed, but because you have changed. Your spirit has elevated to a height that the shadows cannot breathe in. Your energy has strengthened to a frequency they cannot interpret. Your clarity has sharpened into a blade that cuts through their influence. Michael reveals that the Watchers have been attempting to study your reactions for a long time. They wanted to understand your emotional weaknesses, your behavioral patterns, your tendencies, the places inside your heart where doubt might still whisper. But they have begun to realize something profound. You are no longer governed by the patterns of your past. You are no longer triggered in the same ways. You are no longer led by the same fears. You are walking in a consciousness that is deeper, steadier, and far more anchored than ever before. And this anchoring has weakened their ability to interpret your movements. He shows me a vision of an enormous spiritual chamber. In the center, your spirit stands tall. It's like pushing outward like a powerful wave. The Watchers linger along the walls, their eyes glowing faintly, but every time your light expands, they flinch, as though your energy burns their uncertainty. Michael explains that your alignment with divine timing has made the Watchers unstable. They cannot predict someone who has surrendered their path to heaven. They cannot calculate the movements of a soul that is guided by intuition rather than fear. They cannot decipher the steps of someone who listens to divine instruction rather than reacting to earthly triggers. This is one of the reasons you have been feeling an unusual boldness rising inside you. A courage that does not come from confidence alone, but from a sense of spiritual knowing. You can feel that something is shifting. You can sense the presence of change pressing closer. You have moments where your heart beats differently, not in anxiety, but in awareness. Michael says your spirit has already begun merging with the future that heaven has written for you. And because of this, the Watchers are losing their ability to interpret your present. There is something else unfolding. The Watchers have tried to determine if your past wounds could still influence your decisions. They wanted to see if the memory of old pain could redirect your steps. But every time they examined your spirit, they were met with a discovery that terrified them. Your healing has anchored. The places where you once bled have become fortified. The cracks where fear once settled have been sealed. The shadows that once whispered to you have been silenced. You have crossed a threshold where emotional manipulation cannot reach you. The Watchers see this, and they tremble. Michael says, your healing is your armor. And the moment your healing anchored, the Watchers lost their foothold. They cannot manipulate a soul that has embraced its worth. They cannot influence someone who knows the value of peace. They cannot affect a spirit that no longer accepts chaos as normal. You have redefined your boundaries. You have reclaimed your voice. You have restored your identity. And each of these restorations has pushed the Watchers further back. Now, Michael reveals why the Watchers are beginning to fade. They fear the arrival of your blessing. They sense something massive approaching your timeline. A shift. A breakthrough. A divine unveiling. The Watchers know that once this blessing enters your life, they will lose all power over your emotional, mental, and spiritual environment. You will walk with a new authority, a new clarity, a new awareness that makes their observation meaningless. Once heaven's next release reaches you, no shadow will be able to stand in your presence. Michael gives a vision. I see a massive pillar of light descending from the heavens, slowly moving toward you. With every inch it descends, the Watchers step farther back, shrinking, dimming, dissolving. This pillar represents a divine appointment, something written with your name on it. It could be a restoration, an elevation, a partnership, a release, a calling, or a breakthrough of purpose. Whatever it is, it carries a spiritual magnitude that dissolves shadows on contact. And the Watchers know that once this pillar touches your life, they will be unable to remain. But here is the final truth for this part. The Watchers cannot leave until the moment your spirit fully accepts the elevation. That is the final key. Not fear, not doubt, not external interference. Your acceptance. The moment you embrace your identity, your worth, your purpose, and your divine path with full alignment, the Watchers lose their ability to observe you. Acceptance closes the door. Acceptance seals the portal. Acceptance locks the gate. Michael says you are closer to this acceptance than you realize. Your spirit has been preparing. Your heart has been healing. Your soul has been awakening. And soon, the Watchers will vanish from your atmosphere completely. Type "My spirit rises beyond all shadows" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 5252 is now active. Hold close now. The next revelation will show you exactly what triggers the final disappearance of every Watcher around you. My rising vessel of divine purpose, there is a trembling in the unseen realm as this next revelation comes forward, and Archangel Michael stands unwavering beside you. His wings are spread wide, forming an arch of protection above your spirit. What he is about to reveal carries immense depth, because you have reached the stage where the Watchers surrounding your life are no longer simply observing. They are preparing to retreat. They sense that something irreversible is beginning inside you. They feel a shift in your spiritual core that they cannot withstand. Michael says the Watchers did not expect you to come this far, and they surely did not expect the transformation that is happening in this very moment. He shows me a vision of your spirit standing on a vast plateau high above the shadows that once followed you. The Watchers linger below, staring upward. They are attempting to determine how you rose to a height that they cannot reach. Your spirit is glowing with a deep golden blue light, flickering in waves that ripple through the atmosphere. Every ripple pushes the watchers farther back. Michael explains that this elevation was not something you force. It was something heaven crafted in you through every hardship you survived, every heartbreak you endured, every prayer you whispered, and every moment of resilience you displayed, even when your emotions felt exhausted. There is something essential happening within your consciousness. You are beginning to see yourself not through the lens of survival, but through the lens of purpose. This shift is monumental. Your spirit is no longer asking, "Will I make it?" It is beginning to whisper, "I was chosen for this." That internal shift is what the watchers fear most. It is the moment when a chosen one stops doubting their assignment. It is the moment when your identity becomes aligned with heaven's vision for your life. Michael says, when the chosen recognize themselves, the shadows lose their influence. You may not even realize the full scale of your transformation yet. You have felt lighter, more aware, more sensitive to energy, more cautious with your time, more protective of your peace. You have been feeling the need to remove yourself from noise, to cleanse your inner world, to walk quietly as you prepare for the next chapter. These impulses are not random, they are spiritual preparations. Heaven has been guiding your movements. Heaven has been repositioning your heart. Heaven has been recalibrating your instincts. Heaven has been grounding you in truth. The watchers have been watching all of this unfold, and their concern has grown with each internal shift you allow. Michael reveals another vision. I see a massive clock suspended above you in the spiritual realm. Its hands are turning faster than normal, accelerated, purposeful, urgent. This symbolizes divine timing aligning with your destiny. When heaven accelerates time around your blessing, watchers tend to panic. They know that once the divine clock strikes its appointed moment, they will lose any residual access to your atmosphere. This clock is ticking faster now because you are approaching a powerful spiritual appointment. Your energy has risen beyond the frequency of the watchers. This means they cannot follow you into your next season. They can observe from below, but they cannot climb up to the height where heaven is elevating you. This is why the watchers are becoming more distant, more quiet, more unstable in their presence. They know their time is limited. Michael says something now that strikes with deep authority. The watchers retreat when you stop looking backward. This is a powerful truth. Watchers thrive on your attachment to old wounds, old habits, old insecurities, old fears, old versions of yourself. As long as you remain connected to those old places, their influence remains active. But you have begun disconnecting. You have begun to release what no longer belongs to you. You have begun to shed identities that were shaped by trauma. You have begun to remove labels placed on you by other people. You have begun to say, "This is not who I am anymore." These decisions have severed the watchers from your timeline. Your willingness to move forward without carrying your old self is what dissolves their presence. Michael shows me a final image for this part. You are walking through a long corridor of light. Every step forward causes another watcher to disappear behind you. Some vanish instantly. Others fade gradually. But none can follow. At the end of this corridor is a massive door made of radiant white energy, swirling like living light. The moment you place your hand on the door, every watcher will disappear completely. This door represents the full acceptance of your divine elevation. The watchers cannot pass through it. They cannot push against it. They cannot stand near it. They are powerless before this doorway. And here is the profound truth. You have almost reached the door. Your spirit is walking toward it with determination. Your heart is aligning with it. Your intuition is guiding you directly into it. And the Watchers sense that your moment of breakthrough is close, which is why their presence has grown restless, scattered, and unsteady. Soon, you will step through the door, and when you do, the Watchers will collapse into silence. They will lose all visibility. They will lose all proximity. They will lose all relevance. But there is still one final revelation Michael must share with you before you cross that threshold. Type "My path belongs to heaven" in the comments if this message resonates deeply. Blessing code 3939 is now released. Stay near. Your breakthrough door is only a breath away from your spirit. My crowned soul of destiny. There is a hush in the spiritual atmosphere around you right now, a stillness that only arrives when heaven is preparing to finalize something monumental. Archangel Michael stands at your right hand, firm and unwavering, with his sword raised in a protective art. His presence feels heavier, not because danger surrounds you, but because the breakthrough you are about to step into requires a divine escort. The Watchers that have lingered around your life for so long are now trembling at the edges of your atmosphere. They are losing their strength, losing their visibility, losing their grip on the space they once tried to monitor. Michael says their influence is seconds away from collapsing entirely. He shows me a powerful vision. You are standing before a massive door made of living light, the same door that appeared at the end of the corridor in the previous revelation. This door pulses like a heartbeat, glowing with the radiance of heaven's promise. Every part of your spirit feels the pull of this door, calling you forward like destiny reaching for your hand. Behind you, the Watchers flicker like fading shadows. Some are nearly transparent. Others have already dissolved into nothingness. A few remain, but even they cannot step any closer. Light from the door burns them, not with pain, but with exposure. They cannot tolerate the purity of what is about to open for you. Michael bends toward you and whispers, "This is the moment the Watchers fear. Not the moment you were weak. Not the moment you felt loss. Not the moment you questioned your future. But this moment, when your spirit finally recognizes the identity heaven wrote into your soul." Michael explains that the Watchers' final power over you was never influence. It was distraction. Their hope was to keep your attention turned backward long enough to delay your arrival at this door. But what they underestimated was your resilience. What they miscalculated was your ability to rise. What they did not expect was your heart refusing to stay in cycles meant to drain you. Heaven has watched you grow, heal, release, and evolve, and every step you took brought you closer to the sacred threshold. Now, you stand at the doorway that seals the Watcher's fate. There is something essential you must understand here. Watchers cannot cross into new seasons. They belong to old cycles, old versions of you, old emotional landscapes, old spiritual stages. When you evolve, they lose their assignment. When you awaken, they lose their purpose. When you rise, they lose their proximity. Michael says, elevation is the weapon that dismantles the Watchers. It is your growth, your awareness, your healing, and your spiritual maturity that has brought them to their end. Michael reveals another vision. A great wind sweeps through the unseen realm behind you. This wind does not come from your own spirit. It comes from heaven's decree. The wind carries the sound of closure. It carries the force of divine judgment. It carries the authority that ends monitoring spirits, psychic watchers, spiritual observers, and energetic shadows that have lingered too long. The wind rushes past you, but it does not touch you. It only pushes back everything that does not belong in your next season. The Watchers scramble, trying to resist, but they cannot withstand the command written into this wind. They dissolve into mist, then vanish completely. And there you stand. No watchers behind you. No shadows beside you. No hidden eyes studying your path. Only you, Archangel Michael, and the door glowing before you. Michael says something now that will echo in your spirit for years to come. The moment you walk through this door, your life will shift on a level you are not prepared to imagine. This is not a small transition. This is not a minor shift. This is not an incremental blessing. This door carries a radical divine acceleration. It carries answers to long unanswered prayers. It carries opportunities that were once blocked. It carries relationships that carry purpose and authenticity. It carries breakthroughs that have been aging in the spiritual realm for years, waiting for the moment you would be strong enough to receive them. Your spirit is strong enough now. Michael urges you to breathe deeply. You may feel an internal trembling right now, not from fear, but from recognition. Part of you already knows this door is meant for you. Part of you has been walking toward this moment long before you understood the path. Every heartbreak prepared you. Every lesson refined you. Every spiritual battle sharpened you. Every lonely night strengthened you. Every moment of silence matured you. That is why the watchers lost their grit. That is why the shadows have fled. That is why your elevation feels undeniable. Now you must do the one thing that collapses the watcher's influence forever. You must step through the door in full acceptance of who you are becoming. As you place your hand on the door, Michael lifts his sword. The light intensifies. The air shifts. And in this unfolding moment, a spiritual decree is released. No watcher shall rise again in this one's atmosphere. This decree seals your new season. It seals your protection. It seals your elevation. It seals your destiny. You are stepping into your divine future now, free from observation, free from interference, free from the shadows of your past. Before you embrace this new chapter fully, raise your voice in engagement. Like this message, share it with someone who needs protection. Comment your confirmation, lift the energy of this word, and subscribe so that heaven's guidance finds you without delay. Type "I enter my destiny" door in the comments to seal this moment. Blessing code 9900 is now released over your life. As you step through the destiny door that heaven has opened before you, this sacred moment becomes an invitation to help others reach their own breakthrough. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not simply contributing. You are becoming a guardian of light for souls walking through their own spiritual warfare. Your seed becomes a divine echo, spreading the very message that lifted you today into the lives of thousands who feel unseen. Scripture declares that when you sow into God's work, heaven pours back into your life with overflow, and today that promise is alive and active around your name. I feel this strongly. Your giving is not a donation. It is a prophetic act that aligns you with the protection you just received. Those who support this mission will walk under an open heaven, filled with unusual favor and divine acceleration. Step forward, release your support with courage, and let heaven respond to your obedience with supernatural power.